GM, everyone, and welcome to the 14th ever episode, which is crazy. 14th episode of The Hub, a Farcaster focused developer podcast or Farcaster developer focused podcast, whichever way you would like it. My name is Dillstick.eth, your host here, and I'm excited to be back for our 14th episode. Today is going to be a mix of me going through some links as well as doing some live hacking on a product that I built in about a day that has been going, dare I say, semi-viral on the timeline. I think that's fair to say, but I've really enjoyed building it. So I've been building this V2 frame tap, which is essentially like a Farcaster AI native search. But what I'm really trying to think of overall with tap is what are different ways to just help getting people to explore things on chain. So one instance of that might be asking the chat to explain stuff about a Farcaster user or about what you ask it might what you might want to do. But there's other ways to surface that content. And so one thing I had built is essentially a TikTok style feed, almost Dracula-esque, but of trending video content that's already been casted on Farcaster. And you also have a little U tab where you can see your cast. And I think some people have resonated with that and it's been fun for me to build. And so I just wanted to go over it. But before we kick off, let me repost with the links quickly. Nice. Um, the hub as I got here, Twitter developer news and continue to work on chat videos, a TikTok style feed of podcast videos inside of a YouTube frame. GM now is prof. GM. Just posting on some platforms quickly. Now live, come and join as I go over the news and continue working on that videos, TikTok style feed of FC videos. All right. All good to go. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Let me just get the first link up and then we will be all good to go. Sorry for the interruption here at the beginning. Share screen. Okay, cool. All right. So the first thing I wanted to go over was last week's dev call. Unfortunately, I was not fully able to be there. I've kind of missed the last two, which just stinks for me because I've had a whole track record of going to them. Not honestly even for the sake of just saying I've gone to them, but actually for being there for the knowledge for being around those folks. So definitely going to be at the next one next week, no doubt about that. Even though it's East Denver or whenever the next one's going to be. But let's just walk through this quickly. So again, this listed in order of priorities. So the good thing is if you want to just get an overview, start with priorities, and that tells you obviously what Merkle/Warpcast is thinking of and in what order. So first on the crypto side, they rolled out their wallet, like a little embedded wallet UI to 1,500 users. They're pausing until they fix some bugs and complete some internal reviews. They also rolled out token pages and token actions. I don't actually know if these token actions are out or if they just proposed the UI. What I think they mean by the token action is that the SDK for V2 frames could actually call something like a swap or going to a token page, which again, I'm not sure if that part is out, but that is going to be super sick, such an unlock, even just going to the token page. What they have put out are these token pages, which similar to like an interface or rainbow, whatever, you can see some information about the token holders who are your friends on Warpcast. That I think is super helpful, activity, etc. And it literally looks like we're seeing it right here. So that is out now for most people. And also, if you just put in either a ticker or the contract address, that will render as a little token embed in the cast and warp cast, which will then take you to the token page. On the social side, so we have rewards program updates. So last week, this means there were further tweaks to deboost rings, fixing bugs with payouts. Seems like maybe smaller stuff last week, and is important to obviously get that dialed in. With invites, free invites are rolled out. So a lot of folks, maybe everyone got 3 more free invites, observing that, etc. It seems like that's going to be easier to do as sign up costs get cheaper, more rewards for new users. I think now there's a more compelling case as the wallet comes on where you can just not even know anything about crypto, start posting on Farcaster and earn money without again knowing any of it. The Warpcast Q4 grants, those are waiting to get paid out for GitHub, etc. If you want a Q4 grant 2024. On the protocol side, primary address verification. Looks like there's an FID for you to be able to set what your primary address is, like where you want to get airdrop stuff. So working on that FIP, it looks like. Snapchain, there's a private testnet in progress. Nanar is working on it with Warpcast Merkle. They're finding and fixing some bugs, and they expect March for general availability slash potentially when they're going to kind of merge it into their live system. And all this other stuff here, it just does not seem like they've been working on as much, reducing signups, no additional progress, turning DCs into an open protocol, sign with Farcaster FC Connect. But that's where we are there. GM, GM Tutorizer, GM to the 30 of you who are here. Really appreciate you joining. Wow, 30 on Twitter. Honestly, Twitter is where there's a lot of distribution there. Can't really beat the network effects. All right. Let's do this one live. Let's find some developer news. And then afterwards, let's do some tapping. One thing, this isn't fully as developer, but I really like how Jesse is doing these videos. They also fit well on tab videos, just saying. But they're great to just go out there and educate folks. I mean, I even casted something the other day that we're in a cycle now where a lot more people are asking me how they can use crypto or how they can start trading. And even these sort of use cases where you're going in person and saying, hey, I'll pay you, like in this video, Jesse's saying, what if I pay double, 4x, whatever for the food if I pay in crypto and you don't normally pay crypto? Just getting those value props um, across to someone and then getting them to that moment where they can actually receive the crypto or do the thing on chain is not always as easy as it seems. Getting a lot easier, and it's just like that's something we should continue to strive for wanting to do. So I like that sort of content. Another thing, I'm certainly going to try and be at Samuel Huber's talk at or workshop at ETH Denver. If you don't know, Samuel Huber is probably one of the most legendary developer advocates in the Farcaster ecosystem, always helping folks to make sure they can integrate Farcaster into their projects, etc. So be there. For developers, what single API do you wish existed in the Farcaster ecosystem? If you have any thoughts, drop them here. This from Christopher, Warpcast, DAO, Mao. Interesting. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to get the actual Warpcast data. I don't know from the rest here, but if you have any thoughts, definitely leave them below. This I thought was really cool, also because I've been kind of thinking about what like the FAR stack looks like. This is work in progress from Dan visualizing the Farcaster stack. This is totally up our angle with this developer focused podcast. So let's dive right into it here. I won't be in Denver yet. Glad you'll be there to report back. Yes, I'll also, Prof, if you ever want to come by, anyways, I'm staying at this based house, and Samuel Huber is going to be there. Rafi, Luciano, I think maybe even like Jesse and some folks are going to stop by. So that'll be cool. Be around a bunch of builders, and actually, I think next week I might be able to have a bunch of those builders on the hub to talk through what they're going to build at the house. So that will be very cool. Excited to run into folks at ETH Denver, and we'll try and put out as much content as possible while also being sane and getting some rest. Let's just go through this though really quickly. So I guess yes, definitely we'll do some mini interviews. Let's start at the bottom, also because I feel like less is there. So you have FIDs on the OP mainnet, you have ENS on Ethereum L1, and you have many native coins which are like tangential but not like that all doesn't like need to be there. I guess FIDs, but I'm not trying to say anything bad about that part. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like the on-chain component for Farcaster is a lot less prevalent. I think it's going to get even less prevalent with Snap Chain. Obviously, you'll still have tokens on Base and other EVM networks and all that sort of stuff. But I just mean like the actual parts of the protocol itself. So then you have the protocol infra APIs, whatnot. So you have Snap Chain. Snap Chain is the actual data. So cast, likes, follows, profiles, etc. And then you have bots, whatever. You have the fname server and channels metadata. I would maybe even put channels metadata a level up, but that's I'll put that in the comments. Just because I think when I'm thinking of that lower level with Snapchain and fname server, I'm thinking like what are the low level things to keep the data alive and operating? And channels metadata doesn't necessarily need to keep it operating if that's already on Snapchain. I would assume that maybe channels metadata is some sort of indexing that they're doing, and that's indexing they're doing for cast and stuff like that. But I'm not really trying to nitpick. So just think of this level here as like this is the data. This is what's kind of keeping the network up. On top of it, you have infra providers and clients that are ingesting the data, doing new stuff on top of it. You could have Warpcast here as well, specialized clients, other clients, etc. Yeah, so you have the data, and then you have the client's permissionless use, and then you have things like frames which live inside of the client and then interact with the client. The client pops it up, it goes back to the client to show a cast to get your approval for a transaction, and that is kind of how the far stack, for lack of a better term, works right now. Let's see. Hey, and if anything comes up as well that you want me to go over, put this in the chat. I'm just kind of like going over some top things that I see, and then we are going to do some coding in a second. I don't want to make the beginning all about me. Need people posting more dev content, honestly. Make my life so much easier. Let's go through my profile then. It's just all the tap stuff I've been making. Oh, okay. I guess this is one thing. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. So CEO of Vercel, Guillermo Rauschigi, has actually been posting on Farcaster, which is pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of you actually host on Vercel or use Next.js. A lot of frames, especially, people have been building on it. A lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure, like Warpcast, a lot of clients like use Next.js and stuff like that. So really cool to have Guillermo here, and he's been posting about if you have feedback. So you can put that in the comments here in this thread. Yeah, I just think that's super cool. I put a lot of stuff, host a lot on Vercel. I even use they have this amazing like AI chatbot open source starter, which was my open source template for building out the chat for Tap. A lot of great stuff. Big fans of what Vercel does, but this is the more developer focused thing if you want to be getting that sort of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to some Tap stuff now. So I can just show you really quickly. So this is Tap. What it started off as is kind of like a Farcaster native chat. So let's do an example here. Let's grab a cast, Farhack one, and then let's just go analyze cast. This should really be above the text, but whatever you get, yeah, there you go. You get the point. You can put in just like a link to a cast from any client. You can put in just the hash. You can say something like analyze cast or tell me about this cast or whatever, and then it will analyze it. You can say tell me more. You can do stuff more specifically, like ask it about a particular user. Something I haven't really got to as much, but I've been trying to, is these different profiles, which are kind of like mini agents that have tools available from different protocols or apps. So, for example, from Icebreaker, you can search like get me everyone with the same credential, look up users. For Clanker, you can get trending tokens, in the future, launch a token. For Bounty Caster, you can search for bounties and in the future, create your own bounty. So that's kind of what I was going for with that, although I haven't touched it as much in the past week or two. But then what I built over the past day or so is just randomly, the idea came to me that something more Dracula-esque would be cool if it worked for existing videos and that there just wasn't as much discoverability in general for existing videos. And so I thought, what if there was a TikTok style feed for it? And in about a night or so, kind of hacked this together. And so I have the frame up a bunch of places, but one way you can use it, pretty simple, is if you have the frame added, you can just click on the little home thingy there, click watch videos or on the sidebar, and then it will take you right in here to the feed. So the video we saw from Jesse actually a couple minutes ago is already trending, funny enough. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, I was just getting a call. But yeah, you see the videos here, TikTok style feed, watch them, mute, unmute. You can go view the cast in the client. So if you're on mobile, it would just go right to the cast. Something like, I just found this video on tap. You can expand it for our mobile. This would open it up full screen. It doesn't really work well like in this little frame here on web. You can click and see the user's profile. So if you're not following them, you can follow them. And then one fun thing I added last night using now the Warpcast wallet is you can tip and eat on mainnet. I gotta mute this tab. Sorry. On mainnet base or optimism, more change in the future. You can just click this little tip here on any video. You can select an amount. You can do a percentage of how much is in your wallet, etc. Confirm the recipient, and then just tip right there, which I think is really cool. And then also you can go to this U tab and you can see videos that you have casted out. So pretty simple, but has been really cool to see people's reception of this so far, and definitely want to continue adding, even more to it. So also, if there's anything in particular you want to see, I casted as someone build asking for this a few weeks ago. Do you mean on the video side or the AI side? But either way, that's really cool to see. Mikado, very cool to see. I guess I will just run through. I will run it locally, and I'm gonna see if there's a thing or two that I could really quickly tweak or start working on, and then if not, then we will call it for now. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or anything that you see in the chat that you want me to build, definitely let me know. I'm just gonna get the dev server running in the meantime. Yeah, cool. And thank you, Ash Prof. Very cool. Mute. Oh, okay. It is auto spamming me to connect my wallet. You see, there's small little things like that that I gotta work on. It's all right. Sorry, I'm just closing all these rainbow wallet connections. I'm trying to get it so that if your wallet isn't connected, it should auto connect on load. And for some reason, it threw like 10 connection attempts at my rainbow wallet. So I gotta fix that. But also, if you see now that I'm connected to a wallet, you should be able to see the money that goes in and stuff. Cool, yeah. We need to share more clips from GM Farcaster in the hub. Yes, totally. 100%. So how this works right now, it's very simple. Let's get the code up. The coding show. Let's get the code up. All right. It's just an Next.js app. Farcaster, cast, videos. Gonna make like a OAS or something for this too. Okay, so we can walk through this quickly. Simple get request, have some auth middleware. I have a cache key. We're checking Redis. Uh, My Redis instance is kind of slow right now. I may do some extra caching just like on Vercel because it's a little too slow. People are getting the error. I'm caching the data for 6 hours and it's still too slow. So gotta work on that. But pretty simply, we have off middleware here just for the route. We have a cache tag, check the cache. If we have cache data, return it. If not, we're fetching the data from Nanar. I've been playing around with a bunch of the different Nanar routes. It looks like one of the most reliable things I've done so far is called their cast search route, and then just query it by stream.warpcast.com, which is how Warpcast uploads their videos. It doesn't sound like it would be the best. It's been the best of all the methods I've tried on the Nanar routes. There's also some other stuff I could do, like I could start indexing casts. I could start manually liking or listing some cast videos that I think are cool. I could filter the data from places like Dune. So I got to start getting into that. But honestly, other than some of the caching stuff, which is really my main issue right now, I've been pretty pleasantly surprised with the results I've gotten just from this and with the latency for most users. So again, cache data, if there's cache data, just return it. If not, we're calling this search route, with the viewer FID as context. And then just for the UI, we're sorting them by casts that have the most likes. And there's also, again, so much more I can explore there. Do we sort by cast with the most likes, but by day? Is there some extra stuff where I send signals every time you view a video so that your feed is a little bit more personalized to you, kind of like how Warpcast would have some sort of ML thing here? I'm not going to go super crazy, but do want to figure out something that's going to be impactful for our users. But that is how we're gathering the data. And then for anyone who's interested, I can show you how the UI works as well. Components, custom, Farcaster kit, which I am bringing back soon. And then we go to cast, videos, index. Cool. So this is cast videos. This is the parent component. It is just like taking in the session for certain things, like if you're logged in and the selected tab is you, there's like a U tab, then we should be changing the API route so that we're getting data for you. And the API route is basically the same I just showed you, just takes in an extra prop of the FID, and that is added to the Nanar query. We're using SWR, stale with revalidation, or stale while revalidated, to get the data. Just here is the hook, pretty simple. We have a bunch of stuff to filter the casts, and what you see here is a bunch of memoization and virtualization just to make the videos, like the row scrolling, a lot faster. And then we have some stuff like handling expand, like when you hit expand in the drop down, we have a callback that is looking for the element by the query selector and it's requesting full screen using native like JavaScript APIs. And if it's loading, we're just showing a skeleton that's the same size, kind of like you would see on TikTok, like a loading screen. So we have trending and for you here, the tabs, and then we have our virtualizer with the video player, and the video player is making sure that we are only showing and selecting the current video that the user is on. And we're using great video package hls.js to make sure that we can support both MP4 as well as M3U8 stream, which is what Warpcast uses for their uploads. So that is a bit of a technical deep dive there. The main thing I'm kind of working on today is the caching. And I also need to add some analytics. Like if people start using the tipping, then I want to know how much has been tipped on tap. But that is kind of the main overview for now. Everyone, continue to give you guys updates. Let me know if anything comes up, anything that you want me to cover here on the hub, anything that you want me to add into Tap. If you post good videos, I'd like to think they should show up. If you post a good video and you don't see it on Tap, reach out to me. And if you post good videos on Farcaster, I want your videos to be featured. That's kind of why part of why I'm doing this. So without further ado, thank you again so much, everyone, for joining in. I promise that next week we'll have even more guests and continue to add more to the show. But it means a lot that all 60 261 of you are here going through this news and these updates. It's super fun to go through, and have a super rest of your Tuesday. Take care.